Now, I'm gonna show you the way how we're gonna block your opponent against punch and kick on Vale Tudo way, okay? Because in Vale Tudo, everything goes. You don't have a limit, no point, and you just went by knockout or submission, okay? I'm gonna show you today how I'm gonna defend myself against the punch and kicks. My opponent is gonna be facing me, okay? Always he's gonna face me to throw his punch and kicks. Always, when I see when you start the fight, I'm gonna put my weight on my left leg and walk forward. Kick on the knee. Why I kick on the knees? To create distance. Before, then I got the clinch. Again. Now I'm gonna show you how we're gonna block his punch and his kicks on real action. When he throw his punch, you see, always when he throw again. When he throw, you cannot be close to his punch or he gonna hit you. First, see the distance. Right here. Now I have a control of the distance. Again. Second, always I'm gonna use my kick to create a space between me and him. Why? Because when he throw the punch, I gotta throw my kick. Again, when he use the punch, I gotta use the kick. Why? Because the kick gonna defend myself against his punch if he have a quick hand. Again, block, block. Always, when he bring his hand back, that's the time I clinch. Now I'm gonna show you all the details how I'm gonna defend myself against his punch and kicks. Always you're gonna create a space between you and your opponent. I'm gonna put first my weight on my left leg. That's the most important thing. At the same time, stretch my arm to see the distance between me and my opponent, right here. That's my position, right here. At the same time, I'm gonna lift my right hand to protect my chin. My left hand is gonna be on the front to see the distance between me and my opponent, right here. That hand here, at the same time, is gonna protect my left shin. Gonna be my hand up, see the distance, defend my chin here on the front, and see the distance here with my left hand. At the same time, I'm gonna kick. Use my kick. When I kick, I step one leg, right after, kick with my left leg. Come back, create a space again, kick. Come back, kick. Come back. Always when I kick, I gotta kick on the knee. I kick right here under his thigh to don't hurt him. You gotta kick on the knees. Now, I'm gonna show you how I go to the clinch when he throw punch and kicks. Clinch, go under his punch and hold. Now, on real action. My opponent is gonna throw his punch. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna clinch your opponent at the same time he throw his punch, okay? You're gonna use your hand, you see, to defend, bring his arm to the side, and clinch. Hold under his hips. One more time. He throw a punch, I bring his arm to the side, One more time. He throw the punch. I'm gonna drive his arm to the side. The same time he throw the punch. Get under. And you are ready to the takedown. Now I'm gonna show you how you get on that position again. I face my opponent, right? I have my opponent face to face. I gotta create a space between me and him. I gotta see my distance. Always see if I have a good distance between me and him. I got my distance. My weight on the left leg, right here. Always I put the weight on the left leg. The leg stay behind to kick, to have my right leg loose, to kick. Now, he's gonna throw his punch. I just lift my arm to defend myself against his punch. One more time. You see? One more time. Slow. He throw it. I lift my arm, push his arm against to him, push his arm to the side. And at the same time, I'm gonna bend my body and slowly I'm gonna drive inside. Hold my wrist. I'm in the position here. I'm ready to the takedown. Now on real action. Now we're gonna practice the position that I'm gonna defend myself against the punch and kick. And at the same time, we're gonna clench him. Face him, put my weight in my leg that's behind. He's gonna throw punch and kicks. At the same time, I'm gonna up my knee, clench. Let's do it again. Up my knee and clench. I do just one movement, okay? I'm gonna get it to him. Up my knee and clench. Okay, we're gonna practice with all the details, that movement you just learned. Face my opponent. I look to him. Always create a space between me and him, just like I said. He's gonna lift his leg. The same time that he lifts his leg, I'm gonna bring up my knee and bring up my hands here to defend against the punch and kicks. Okay? He's gonna lift his leg to kick my face. Gonna lift my knee. At the same time, I'm gonna introduce my whole body inside. You see right here when he throw the kick, he's gonna try to throw the punch. I go under his punch and grab his hips. I'm ready to the takedown here. One more time. He's gonna do the kick again. Lift and get in. One more time. Lift and get in to him. One more time. You see, at the same time, I'm gonna protect my chin and my upper body with my shin and my arms and my hands. My hands gonna protect my chin and my shin gonna protect my whole body. Take a look. We're ready to the takedown. Now on full speed. Now we're gonna practice how you clinch and you take down at the same time. You're gonna face your opponent. Always, like I just said, base, create a space, have a distance between you and him. Okay? to get your clinch. At the same time, you gotta work your shot. At the same time, you gotta be ready to his punch. When he throw a punch, one, you count his punch, you get under, and at the same time, grab his hips. When you get around, hold your wrist, introduce your head, take down. Now, I'm gonna show you all the details from that position, okay? My opponent, he's ready to throw his punch right here. If he put that base, his left hand on the front, he wants to throw a jab. He's gonna throw a jab. Always I gotta be ready for his jab. Don't let his jab hit me. At the same time, I gotta make my movement. The same time, when he throw his jab, you throw the jab, you get under, you bend your leg. One more time. You throw the jab, you bend your leg. You see my movement? I do two movement. I get in and out the same time. One more time. And one more time. Now I gotta go to the takedown. Grab his hips. At the same time, my head here gonna use to take him down, and my shoulders gonna defend my neck and push him, his hips. And taking him all the way to the mouth position. Now on full speed. Now I'm gonna show you the sequence of the movement you just learned. He throw punch. I'm gonna get under his punch and grab his hips. But I could not take him down. He put his weight on my arms. You see, I cannot pull him on the hips anymore. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let go, grab both legs behind. I'm gonna hook behind of his legs. Step to the side and lift. Drive my body to the side, get the side mount position. Now, I'm gonna show you all the detail of that position. First, get my position to fight. He's gonna throw his left hand. When he throws his left hand, he get under here. Make my clinch. But my opponent, he is very strong. He put his weight on me. I couldn't take him down from the hips. Like you guys see here, my arm's all the way straight right here. I cannot pull him anymore. I have no position. What I gotta do, I gotta bend my leg, drive both hands for behind of his legs. Like you see, again, I'm right here, he put the weight on, you gotta drive both hands behind of his leg. Bend my knee, lift it up, his leg, drive me to the side. And get the side mount position. Now on real action. Now I'm gonna show you how you mobilize your opponent, and at the same time you can have position to hit your opponent. To hit your opponent, you need to know how you're gonna mobilize him first, right? And I'm gonna show you. First, you gotta be chest to chest. Like I said, knees off to the ground to put whole weight under his chest. Control him under his neck. One hand here to defend against the knees. If your opponent try to throw a knee, right here. Hold hand here. Gonna cross your arm over his face now here. That's how you be on the side mount. Cross him. First you hold under his neck to mobilize after you cross him. From here you're gonna work. 1, 2, 3. Change position. Again. 1, 2, change my position. 3, knee on the face. Come back again. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm gonna show you a whole movement with all the details. First, you gotta be chest to chest, like I just said. Knees off to the ground, chest to chest. Make sure you work chest to chest. Gotta be here. Don't use your hands to practice him first, to see if you have your balance on chest to chest. Your opponent right away, he's gonna feel if you have your balance. Again, I'm gonna use chest to chest and make him breathe hard. See, every time I use my chest under his chest, I put pressure on his neck. Now I'm gonna cross my right hand to defend against to his knees. Gonna cross, put right here. My left hand, gonna cross, put by his neck. Here I'm gonna start work my movement. Here I have him under control. Why? Because he's under my immobilization. He won't be able to escape from that position here. 1, 2, change my base, 3. But the difference is, if you hit once here very well, the fight's finished. The same thing here. You can hit his ribs and finish the fight. If you work that sequence with the 3 right here, that's just to make sure the fights end. Now I'm gonna show you in the real action. And even my partner gotta protect himself. I'm gonna show you the sequence of the movement if my opponent defends himself. I control my opponent. I start throw elbows. He start defending himself. I try to bring my knee, he defend against my knee. What I gonna do? Grab his wrist. When I bring my knee, he defend. I'm gonna pull his arm up, bring my hips underneath of his armpit. From here, I'm gonna start work my power. 1, 2. Same time I throw the punch, I move my shoulder in. Here, I have the end of the fight. Now, I'm gonna show you the sequence of that whole movement, okay? Pay attention. Right here, like I said, knees off the ground. I'm gonna use my elbows and my knees. I'm still hurting my opponent here. Here, he's still in trouble. But my objective, not make my opponent just be in trouble. I want to knock him out. What I gotta do? Hit him. I don't gonna spend my energy right here. Hit my opponent. I gotta make sure I hit him in the perfect spot. What I gonna do? Change my base. Hold his wrist right here. When he try to throw my knee on the face, he gonna defend. I'm gonna put my foot on the ground, pull his arm up, change my base, put my hips underneath of his armpit. From here, I gonna make sure that I knock him out. I'm gonna hit him on the chin. Just to make sure. If you wanna hit another spot, you can hit him on the nose. That's the best two spot on the face. Chin, nose. Now on full action. Now I'm going to show you the sequence of all position that we have been done. Now we got to work knee on the belly. That's very important position in no rules fight. When you get chest to chest, right, I start throw elbow under his ribs, under his head. He defend. What am I going to do? Here's my hands, both hands on the ground right here. Push up, near the belly. Up my base. From here, I have angle to throw punch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And knock out my opponent. Okay, now I'm going to show you all the details on that position. When you get chest to chest, make sure you have your chest, like I just said, under his chest right here, right? Your arm over his head to have a control to punch him right here. Use your elbows right here and your knees. You work everything, arm and legs on the bottom. Okay? Now, I'm gonna work my knee on the belly. Why? Because he protected himself against to my punches. Okay? I don't gonna spend my energy here, hit my opponent. Because my objective not just to hit him, but take him out. What are you gonna do? Right after, you're gonna put my hands on the ground. I'm gonna make the push-up position. Right? I'm gonna do it again, chest to chest, push-up position. I'm gonna bring my knee under his stomach and lift my body up to get my angle to throw punches. Let's do it again. Chest to chest. I'm gonna bring my arm next to his ears, next to his hips. Hold him. Lift. Get my knee on the stomach. You see my position? Again. Right here. Up my body. Punch. And sequence. Now on full action. Got chest to chest. Gonna throw elbow and knees. Now I'm gonna push up. Put my knee in the bed. Up my base. Throw punch. He's gonna defend himself. Against my punch, I'm gonna mount, get my mouth position. That's my crucial position in the fight. That's how I'm gonna finish my opponent. Okay, now let's do the details. I get chest to chest. Always, like I said, put your weight chest to chest right here. You're gonna bring through elbows and knees, always. But you're not gonna be here spend your energy because you are a smart fighter. You're not gonna spend your time here and get tired. You're gonna look for the submission. You're gonna put both hands on the ground, do your push-up, and introduce your knee in the belly at the same time up your base to start throw punching. But him defend himself. I'm gonna slide my knee to the mount position. You see her? The same time I slide my knee, I bring my right leg back and go to my mount position. Here I have my established position. That's my mount position. That's the most important position for a jiu-jitsu fighter. Here I'm gonna work to break his arm to the side. Roll him to the side to stop throw punches. Now on full action. Now we're gonna start practicing how you control your opponent on the mount position and the back mount position. From here, you're gonna start throw punches. At the same time, your punch gotta be effective for your opponent. When you throw the punch, you gotta throw to hit his face. Like you see here, he defended his face right here. Now I'm gonna make a turn to the side, throw my punch on the side of his face, make him turn. Always on the side of his face, make him turn. When he turns, I'm gonna get my back mount position. From the back mount position, I can keep work, punching or elbows. I show you the details now. When I get your mount position, make sure you have your knee under his armpit. Make sure you're gonna put both knees under his armpit. Make sure you're gonna keep your elbows together when you throw a punch from here. To have all the angles, you can escape to the both sides. You throw a punch. When you start throw a punch under his face, he's gonna turn to the side. If you turn that punch here, he start turning to the side. He's gonna roll, like you just see right here. I gotta get my back mount position first. Get my back mount position, but he try, like you just see, get on the knees. You see, I don't gonna have just my back mount position. I'm gonna work my hooks in. My hooks was right here. I'm gonna put my hooks in. Gotta have both hooks inside. Here, I have my position. I'm gonna put my hands on the ground. You're gonna start hitting my opponent. Elbow or punch on the ear or on the neck. How you gonna finish your opponent? Now on full action.
Hi, this is Renzo Gracie and I'm Craig Kukak. Welcome to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu's The Mounted Position. This tape is on the mounted position. First of all, we have to get to the mount. So let's show a few ways on how to get mounted and then we'll go from there. When I'm across his side, I want to keep my elbow next to his ear. Okay? This hand on this side, right next to his hip. Okay? Now, from here, I want to lift up and scoop my leg under. So I'm facing this way. Elbow still next to the ear. This leg wants to be back so that Renzo tries to throw me back. I can keep myself here with this leg. Now, from here, keep my elbow here. I want to bring this leg back and loop it over and mount. One more time. Elbow next to the ear. Hand on this other side. Keep my weight on chest to chest. I'm going to lift up and shoot the leg through. Sitting on my side. I should be comfortable here. I should be in base. If Renzo tries to throw me back, I just keep my leg here for base. Now, I pick the right moment. I slide this leg back and mount. I want to keep my elbow right next to his ear. This hand is going to be on the other side. Okay, so I have good control of him here. Now, I want to lift up and throw this leg through. Okay? This leg stays back here because I want to keep my base so that if Renzo tries to throw me back over, he can't. This leg saves me. Okay? So from here, I want to bring this leg this way and mount. Okay? One more time. Elbow next to the ear, hand on this side. Keep your weight on him, chest to chest. You should keep your weight on him. If you keep like this, he's just going to come up and get out of there. So I want to keep him down if I can. Elbow next to the ear, hand over here, lift up, shoot the leg through. Okay? Get your base, establish your base for a second. Right? Then scissor the leg over. And then sit up in your mount. Here's a second way to mount. Once again, elbow next to the ear, hand right here. Sometimes the guy keeps the legs high, so that if I'm sitting like this, it's kind of hard to get my leg over him. So he kind of stops me. So when he does that, what I want to do, elbow here, hand here. Now I'm going to get through this little hole that's right here. I want to slide my knee through, landing over on this side. Okay, so we're here, we stay on the knees, the knee comes up and through. One more time. Elbow next to the ear, hand on this side. I can't loop the leg over, his legs are too high. So I see that, so I want to bring my knee across. I slide the knee across, and I end up mounted.
Now let's take a look at some jiu-jitsu fighters mounting their opponents. Watch how Renzo's brother Ralph loops his leg over. See how the knee slides right through as Renzo's brother Ryan mounts his opponent. One more time. Notice how all the fighters establish their base and take their time. So remember, establish your base, take your time, and once you're mounted, then you can do your punching.
Okay, now we've achieved the mounted position. From this position, the reason this position is so devastating is from here, I can hit Renzo, but he can't hit me. The distance with my legs and my body are longer than his arm. Okay? If we switch, with Renzo on top, it'll be the same thing. Even if I could hit Renzo from here, I can't cock to put anything on it. I need to go back farther. The ground's in my way. So, once I'm mounted, one viable option looks like the groin. This really isn't, because the whole time you have to remember he's receiving punches. Okay? So, normally what's going to happen is he's going to try to cover his face instinctively. Okay. When he does this, what I want to do is take the bend of my hand. Okay, if I'm right-handed, I want to take the left hand. I put the left hand in and put the weight on it. As Renzo tries to take the weight off, he's wide open for the other punch, the right hand. Okay, one more time. So I put all the weight, pulls the hand off, and I hit him with the right. A number of other options from here are the arm locks and chokes that we went over on the other tapes. After he's taken a number of punches here, he sees his only escape is to turn over onto his stomach, in which case I'm just going to let him roll. I just open my legs up and put my hands on the ground and let him turn inside of me. One more time. So as he rolls over, I just open up and let him turn. Now he's in no position to hurt me or do anything. His arms are down here. I'm obviously in striking position, and I have the choke available to me, which we covered on the beginnings chokes tape. Sometimes when your opponent is so big through the stomach or big through the chest, once you're mounted, it's real hard sometimes to, when you're on top of him, to stay on top of him because you're wavering back and forth. Okay? In this situation, if the guy's so big, what I want to do is I want to sit off to the side. I'll just sit over here and bring this leg up here. Now I'm able to stay on top of him without falling off. Okay? One more time. I'm like this. My legs don't touch the ground, so I just sit on this leg over here, and I keep this leg like this on the ground. If the guy on the bottom decides he wants to roll over, I'm going to keep this foot right here, and as he rolls, his body's going to come up. Now, as it comes up, I slide the leg on the other side through, and I'm hooked in right where I want to be for the choke. Let's take a look at that back leg coming underneath from a different angle. As he rolls over, he rolls up on top of my leg, and this leg is going to come underneath. Now I'm hooked in right where I want to be for the choke. Okay, let's look at this position once again from a different angle, and you can see the leg on the back side coming in. As he rolls over, I keep my foot planted, and this foot, see how high he is up in the air now, and this enables my foot to come in. So as he comes up and over, this leg just slides right in. Now I'm hooked in right where I want to be for the choke. Okay, as the guy on the bottom decides to roll over, we're going to let him roll. So the guy on the bottom rolls, and we end up like this. But I don't want to keep my feet out like this. I want to keep my toes just like this. So as the guy on the bottom goes and tries to sit up, my toes go right in. I got my hooks in. Now I'm in here, perfect position. Now I just push my pelvis forward, and I have the choke available to me. One more time. I let him roll. My toes stay right here. So as he comes up, they drop right in. One more time. Drop in. If I keep my legs like this, and the guy on the bottom comes up, it's too late. I didn't get my feet in time. Okay? So one more time. I let him turn. Toes in. He sits up, and they go right in. Push pelvis forward, and keep the pelvis with all the weight down right here. Now I go for the choke.
As you watch this next series of fights, try not to get caught up in the action. Try to concentrate on the legs and watch how important they are. See how the legs hook right in. In every fight, you'll notice after he mounts, the legs hook right in, then he goes for the choke. Hook the legs first, then choke second. Remember, watch the legs. See the legs hook in. That gives him the control necessary to apply the choke.
On this mount position, the guy can try to take me off, push me like this on the chest. So what I'm gonna do is try to swim my hands through like this, you see, and put my hands on the ground. So he keeps going, he keeps like this. And during this, the important thing, I can bam, bam, 1, 2, straight. And if he keeps going like this all the time, just slipping away his hands like this, and during this I'm gonna find time to hit him on the face. Let's see this position once again with a little more speed, like, you know. So you keep doing and hitting during this time. All the times that you had an open like this, you can bang over here too with the elbows. You can hit with the elbows too, and keeping all the time slipping away, swimming through his hands like this. And it's gonna be very hard to take you off, pushing you. Another way that the guy has to try to escape from here is pushing your leg like this, your knees. So you're gonna use your hands to to lift up his hand like this to pull off. But you cannot use this thumb here. You have to use like this. So I'm gonna bring this. It's very easy to bring up like this. Pull it up his hand. So during this, I can give a couple hits before he tries again. You know. So with elbows and this. So it became very easy to pull it up his hands here and keep him on the ground. During wire mountain, another way the guy tried to escape is putting the hand on your pelvis and try to push you out like this. So as soon as he put the hands over here, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fall and grab the guy's head like this, and he won't be able to push you out again. So from here, you can strike with the hands, you can go for a lot of chokes, and you can open a lot of opportunities for your win the fight from this place. And it became very hard to him to push you like this. So you fall, grab the head, and you can go for the strikes, chokes, and a lot of stuff.
If asked about the mount and how to escape, a lot of experienced fighters will tell you they just gouge or bite their way out. They say this because they don't know the way out. You must remember, when you're mounted, you're in control. In this fight, the man on the bottom is accused of some dirty tactics, so the man on the top bites the lobe of his ear off, and there's nothing he can do about it.
A lot of times from the mount, the guy on the bottom wants to gouge me or choke me. So from this position, I want to lean up, sit up all the way, and push the hand across. My body weight is going to keep the hand and the arm down. So as he pushes up, I'm just going to push across and keep my body weight on top of it. This hand holds on to the hand so it can't get out of here. My second hand comes underneath, grabs his wrist. Okay? Time. So we're here. I want to push it to the side and keep my weight on top of it. My right hand comes in and holds onto his wrist. The other hand comes on and takes it away from this hand, holding onto the wrist. I keep it here snug, and I want to slide my knee all the way up to here. I keep my leg tight down to his stomach. I don't want to leave it up like this. I don't want him going out through the back way here. I want to keep this firm. Now from this position, I want to keep tight. I have these options available to me. I can punch, elbow, whatever I want to do. Okay? So one more time. I lift up, push across. My weight keeps this down. Hold on to the wrist, hand underneath, slide up the knee. Knee should be equal with the top of the head. I want to keep tight here. From here, I have the elbow, the punch. From here, he can try to punch me. I can control him with his elbow here. If he turns towards me, I just push him back. If he's able to hit me with this, getting close, I just turn him like this, and now he can't. Okay? I still have this here. So one last time. He tries to choke me. I push the hand to the side as I lift up. I come down and keep this pinned underneath with the weight. I can't just try to keep this here with my arm because he'll yank it back out of the way. I want to make sure that when I push down, I follow up with my body, keeping all the weight on top of him. My hand holds it here. Hand it to the other. Hand it to your other hand. Keep all the weight on top of him. Slide your knee up. Keep this knee down. And turn him to here. Very bad position. Elbow and a punch.
Now let's take a look at some more no-rules fights from Brazil. Jiu-Jitsu versus karate.
I'm Paul Vunak, and welcome to Kina Muay Thai. Kina Muay Thai is a lost art. The literal translation means the art of pinching and biting. Now, when you think of biting, the first thing that might come to your mind is, well, anyone can bite. Well, that's true, anyone can bite, but anyone cannot bite effectively. There is an entire art predicated on biting, finding over 140 positions on the body that you can bite someone uninterrupted. And that is the art, knowing when to bite, where to bite, how to bite. That is Kina Muay Thai. So let's roll up our sleeves, get out the mats, and we'll get started. Now, our very first few bites, we're going to place ourselves on the bottom. This is the worst position we can be in a fight, obviously. I want you to keep in mind that the purpose for biting, the main purpose, is to be able to get back to your feet. So you can either escape or continue engaging the fight from your feet. So we're going to start off cross-side. I'm going to be on the bottom. Jeff's going to come in and I'm going to work the few positions. Okay, Jeff, come on in. Okay, the very first cross-side position is going to have Jeff's arm under my arm, legs stretched out. He's got a good base here. If you notice, I keep my left hand under the armpit. I do not want my arm out exposed here unless I'm doing a neck bite, which I'm going to show you later. So we put the arm here. I want it down as low as I can, pointing up. My right elbow is going to be on the hip, so I've got the adjustment here. From this position, no matter how tight of a base he has on me, when I do my upa, I'm going to use my heels to pull, almost like a leg curl, and I'm going to scoot my body this way. I'll do it one time without biting just to show you the motion. Okay, that is the action. I'm trying to bite his nipple. Okay, so I start from this position here. This time I'm going to implement the bite. Jeff will give a similar response as he would if he were actually getting bitten, and then I'm going to show you how I would kick him off and come to my feet. So from the top, we're here, I'm nice and tight, and then I can engage back into a fight or run if I want. Now our next position is going to be a bite on the neck. This is obviously a more serious bite. You can gauge whether you want to go down to the nipple or come up and bite on the neck. The position is pretty much the same. He's going to be cross-side with his hand under. Okay, Robert, come on in. Okay, so Robert, again, is cross-side. This hand is under. Now, normally, I would have this hand here. If this hand is here, it is better to pop up, slide down, and do the first bite we did. I like my hand here because it protects the hand better, and you can slide to the rear if you have to. You can come to the rear and pop out this way if you just want to try to escape, depending on how good his base is. In this particular scenario, your hand is going to be here. Everything is not perfect in a fight. So you're kind of stuck with this hand dangling out here. Grab this hand here, figure four, Robert. Dangerous position to be in. So as soon as I find my hand is here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the bite on his neck. Now, most people do not understand the concept of putting their shoulder in the chin. So therefore, give me a nice tight base here. Therefore, you just simply grab the figure four and you have the neck bite. If this person does understand the concept of putting the shoulder onto the chin and he's putting the pressure down, this prevents me from doing that. Now, when I am in that position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my body and I'm going to askew it about 15 degrees this way. So what you're going to watch me do is using this elbow, I'm going to turn my body away from the shoulder to get to the neck. Now, Robert, I want you to put the shoulder down as tight as you can on my chin. Okay. And I turn on a bite. Okay. So again, the motion I'm making, again please, Robert, is I push here to give myself a little space. I take this hand and put the neck this way, and I turn my body. Then I grab here, and I have my bite. Now, Robert, this time, you're going to give me the actual reaction that somebody would give, and again, I'm going to do the same kickoff with the shoulder on the chin. Okay, Robert, down. And again, I can escape or I can re-engage the fight. The difference between this bite And the last bite was, this bite is on the neck, the last bite was on the nipple. You need to learn to injure to degree. The other difference was your arm was dangling out on this bite, the last bite the arm was tucked. Okay, let's work them both. Now in our next position we're going to have the cross side again. This time the elbow is going to be over the neck instead of under. You have to understand when people go cross side, depending on the idiosyncrasy of the art, each person has a different cross side. If you're a judo, if you're jiu-jitsu, if your goal is to pin the person, if your goal is to attack the arm, everybody's got a different slant on the cross-side position. Okay, Eric, come on down. Okay, the first position we worked, the arm was under, and this arm was over here. On this position, this is under the arm, this is here. I did a little oopa, and I went right to the nipple bite. The second position found this arm dangling out here. Okay, so I grabbed the neck, I slid, and I went to the neck bite. Now on this particular cross side, this arm is going to be over. Now when this arm is over, this arm, his right arm is guarding me from putting him in the guard. If this arm wasn't there, pull that arm out. Okay, that's when I can slide under and put him back in the guard. So that's why most people will put this arm here. That frees this arm up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab and I'm going to bite the lat. Again, this elbow is here. So as soon as I find myself in this position, I reach up, I grab my own arm, my knee is going to raise to prevent him from mounting me. Not that most people mount you when they're getting bitten, but just in case, and I latch on for the bite. Okay, so try it from there again and jump back in, and the other way, go, arm over, and that's the bite. Now this time Eric is going to give me the reaction that somebody would give. He's going to pop up. Again, biting gives you space. The better the jiu-jitsu man is, the tighter he is. The worse the jiu-jitsu man, the more space he gives you. When you bite somebody, you turn a black belt into a white belt because you allow them to create space. So this time I'm going to bite Eric. He's going to create the space I need, and I'm going to kick off again. And that gives me the space that I need. This time he had his elbow over, so I went to the lat bite as opposed to the neck or the nipple. Now in this next position, it'll be cross-side again. This time my arm is pinned. Actually, both arms are going to be pinned underneath my opponent. When the opponent tackles you to the ground, goes cross-side, takes the top position, your arms are not always in the most conducive position. In this particular case, again, my arms are going to be pinned, and that's going to create a different kind of bite. It's going to be the groin bite. Okay, James, come on in. Okay, so ideally, I would want this arm under the armpit and this elbow here. But in this particular case, this arm is going to be pinned here, and I'm stuck in this position. Now, could I bite here? Yes. Would it be an uninterrupted bite? No. If I bite here, just come up and start pummeling my face with your fist. That is most likely what would happen, because I do not have an arm free. Do it again. That is an uninterrupted bite. So therefore, I would never bite unless it's uninterrupted. So go back down, please. So now we have this hand, both hands are pinned, okay? My right elbow is going to bend out. My left arm is going to push this direction. My right foot is going to spin so I can turn my whole body clockwise about 40 degrees. Then I pull this arm out so it is uninterrupted, and I have my groin bite. Now, in this position, I can guarantee you anyone that gets their groin bit is going to all do the same response. They're going to pike. It's a visceral response. Whether you actually get the groin or not, anybody that starts gnawing down there, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to pike. You're going to create space, and that's really all we want. So, this time we're going to go through the whole thing. The arm is pinned. I spin down. I bite. I then kick up. And I have my space, again, to escape or go back to my opponent and fight. So this time, the arms were pinned. We had to turn clockwise and go for the groin bite. Now we're going to work the cross-side position. This time, I'm going to be on top, and I'll be doing the biting. Okay, Jeff, come on in. Now, when you're in the cross-side position, there are various types of cross-side depending on what your goal is. For tournament, a lot of people like to have both hands out here so they can work on attacking this arm or work on their arm lock from here, spinning around and, again, attacking the arm. For our needs, biting, this arm is going to be around the neck so my shoulder can come down on his chin. Now, most of the time when you see somebody with this arm secured on the hip, they're doing that for the reason of not allowing their opponent to put them in the guard. So if I'm sprawled like this, try to put me in the guard, he can't put me in the guard because of this hand. The minute I move this hand to here, he can do his upa and put me back into the guard, which I don't want. So what we're going to do in lieu of putting this hand here is we're going to put this knee here. As the knee is here, this leg is going to be out, this arm will be under the neck, and I'm going to be applying pressure here. If I bring this leg, my left leg, in, if he's a strong guy, he can get his arm underneath me and possibly upa me that way. Go ahead. And we're not going to have the bite anyway, but still I'd rather be on top. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this knee adjacent to this hip, this leg out, away from the action, this arm under, nice and deep, this arm on the chin. Now I'm going to be just ever so gently applying pressure down in this direction. Now, Jeff, I want you to come up and bite me. Okay, try to get up. Okay, so this is my base. It's a very good position for a base. Now, Jeff, I want you to prevent me from biting you. Okay, very good. So as you see, in that particular position, when I'm coming down, as long as I have my shoulder on Jeff's chin, I'm preventing Jeff from counter-biting me. My knee is preventing Jeff from putting me in the guard, and I'm putting on the bite. Once you put on the bite, the guy's going to usually freak out. You can then mount, go to your guns, or you can disengage and run, or stand your feet and continue the fight. Now our next bite is going to be from the mount. This is one of the most vicious bites you can ever do to somebody. Okay, Robert, come on in. Now when I'm mounted on Robert, basically there are two types of mounts. There is a mount in which my head is up. That means I'm up as high as I can be and I can fire the guns, I'm doing the punches. Or there is a mount, I'm not talking tournament now, I'm talking street fight. Or there is a mount in which I'm down low. I'm going to be engaging in the low mount for purposes of this tape for Keenan Muay. If I do the low mount, I need my feet to hook around his feet. Now when my feet are hooked around his feet, that is my base. Now what I'll do to show you that is I'll take my hands and put them here. Now upa me. He's trying to get me off him, but every time he upas me one way or the other, my legs lock me in. So I have a perfect base. This gives me impunity to do what I want with my hands. In this case, I'm going to be biting. So I grab up under, grab my own bicep. The art of Keenan Muay is also eye gouging. You've got the thumb in the eye, you can be digging the eye, and you can be biting the face. Now the beautiful thing about this is if you are biting somebody 250 pounds, even though you do have your hooks in, they might have a tremendous upa, a tremendous back strength where they just arch and they roll you over. If this were to happen, this would automatically put me in the guard. I want you to notice what's going to happen to the bite when I'm in the guard. And basically, nothing. I'll still be biting him. So if I'm here, upa me, I still have the bite. So by the time he actually gets me off him from the top mount, I'm biting, I'm biting, I'm biting. He upas me, I'm still biting, I'm still biting, I'm still biting. And he comes up, the guy's got no face left. Okay, so this is your upa. As soon as he upas you, you continue your bite from the guard position. Let's give it a try. Now most of Keenan Muay is done on the ground. On a few occasions, you will do it standing up. In this particular case, Eric is going to get me in a headlock, and I'm going to show you where Keenan Muay fits in. Okay, Eric, come on in. Now Eric's got my head. He's got my head in a fight. Some people hold it and squeeze. Other people will actually try to punch you with this other hand. Okay, boom, they're hitting here. I insert this hand in to stop it. Boom, I hit the going once, bite there, and then boom, I come up and I headbutt. And that's how we get out of that situation. The bite ensures that he's going to release, get a quick headbutt in, re-engage him if he's still on his feet, otherwise go home and call it a day. Now we're going to switch gears, and I'm going to implement another training method from Kali, and that's called Sumbrata. Basically what you've seen so far, I wanted to intro the tape showing you the fundamentals, giving you a little infrastructure of what Kinamotai is all about. And these are the facts that it's uninterrupted biting, uninterrupted eye gouging, meaning that you're grabbing your own hand. It takes the opponent a few seconds to get up. By that time you've created enough space, you can kick them off and come to your feet. Now that we understand that basic premise, we're going to go through a flow pattern. This is the next progression in your training. A flow pattern, or the word Sumbrata, simply means that you're not doing one technique and you're done, but you're continuing a flow. By continuing this flow, your attribute development is reaching a much higher level. So we're now working on attributes. So first we do single techniques, then we go through a flow pattern, and then we're going to show you how we spar this. Okay, James, come on in. Now, Sumbrata is initially, like I said, a Filipino colleague. It's a stick drill. Okay, he would hit me. As he hits me, I do a block. But we don't stop here. Freeze there, James. I don't just stop there and hit while he's sitting there with his stick locked out, but I hit him back, and that's what creates the flow. That's what Sumbrata means. So as he hits me, I hit him. He hits me, and we're flowing. So if you understand Sumbrata, you'll see this flow pattern, and once you've got that pattern developed, that gets the attributes out. Okay, now we're going to do basically the same thing on the ground. Okay, James. Now, James is cross-eyed. I'm going to go through the flow pattern. My elbow is where it should be. It's adjacent on the hip. This arm is where it should be, under the armpit, being protected from the arm lock. I'm going to do my upa. I'm going to slide down and bite the nipple. Instead of kicking James off, for the purpose of the flow pattern, I'm going to slide my hips and put him in the guard and re-attack the face with a Kinamotai bite from the guard. So we'll get that far. So I'm here, bite, slide my hip around, and I bite here. Now, when you re-grab the neck and you start biting, 99 out of 100 people will do the same thing. They stand up. But the problem is when they stand up, this part of their body is low and their rear end is high. This disrupts their base, giving them a susceptibility to a sweep. So as I'm biting here, he stands, I put this here, roll back around, and continue the bite. And that's the flow. Okay, let's try that once again from the top, James. Just walk through it. Okay, we try it again. Got the elbow in place, got the arm in place, do my upa, bite, slide around, put him in the guard, kick up, and go back to my attack. Okay? So, what I'd like you to do is walk through that. This is a whole pattern. It's going to involve about 15 moves. Obviously, you're not going to do these moves in order in a fight. This is to develop the flow, to develop the attributes. Now we're going to continue our flow pattern. I'm mounted on Robert. I'm biting his face. Okay? In a Sumbrata pattern, that means that both people get to attack. It's not just one attacker and one attackee. So both people are going to get to bite. Both people are going to get to do the moves on each other. Okay, Robert, you're over here. I'm mounted on you, and I am performing the bite. Now, as I'm biting Robert, he's going to upa me. When he upas me, in essence, that is going to put Robert in my guard. Now, then Robert will turn into the biter. He's going to bite my chest, stand up, punch the groin, get a headbutt in, and pass the guard, and go directly to his bite from cross-side. We'll take it one step at a time. So I'm biting Robert, and boom, he upas, and bah, he's biting me now. He holds the arm so I can't punch him, headbutts, bam, stands up, boom, breaks the guard, comes back down, puts a few shots in, and he's biting me. Okay, let's take that from the top, Robert, one more time. We'll walk through it super slow, and then we'll go one normal speed, okay? 1/4 speed. I am gouging and biting. Robert upas. He is then turning head down and biting me, blocks the arms, gets a headbutt in, boom, stands up, breaks the guard, comes around, goes to his guns, comes down for the cross side, and begins his bite. Okay, normal speed, and go. Good. Okay, now when we put all these together, we're starting to develop a flow. The whole idea of this is once you do this flow over and over again, when you go to sparring, you find these openings. It helps your timing, it develops the attributes. Now we're going to pick up where we left off. Robert had passed the guard, went cross-eyed, and was biting. Now I'm going to bring Eric in. He's going to take it from that position, from the biting position. I am going to counter the bite. We're going to go through 3 Kinamutai moves. Okay, Eric, come on in. Now Eric has a shoulder down on the chin, and he is biting. Now from this position, there is very little that I can do. There's really only one counter, and that is for me to bring this arm up and around and push straight up in the air. When I do this, Eric, go to the next move. He's then going to go onto the lat. Now, the last counter I possibly have from here, if I'm extremely strong, is I'm going to push him down this way, and now I'm back into the fire, and he's biting the groin, and then I pike, as 99 out of 100 men would, and I'm right into the guns facing the punches. So, again, from the top, he's doing the bite, I counter, push him, push down, I pike, boom, and I'm taking the blows. Very important at this point that we understand that this is a Sombrata pattern. You'll be the biter, you will be the bitee. It's going to flow back and forth. This is why we never want our students to wrestle hard. It doesn't really matter how fast you go. It's not a battle of attrition, because when you're biting, everything is academic. If you tap to an arm lock, but you bit the person prior to the arm lock, he possibly would have never locked your arm. So it's important that you go through this entire pattern slowly, look for your bites, make it a sensitivity drill. Later you can always speed it up. Now continuing our flow pattern, we had Eric in a half mount punching. Now we're going to bring Jeff in, take it up from that point. Jeff's going to be punching. When Jeff punches, you're going to notice that he is not punching hand, right, left. He's going to just keep the same hand punching. What this will do is create the energy for the opponent to spin. If you keep hitting him back and forth, he's not going to spin. We want him to turn his back. I will be the person turning my back. The minute my back is turned, Jeff's going to put the arm around. He's going to swing me around and go. Most people at this point would go for the choke. This is a Kinamutai tape. We're going to go for the bite. He's going to pull around. He's going to start healing my groin. Hook the arm, have the arm around the neck, and he's going to be biting my neck. So you're going to see Jeff go from the half mount, punching me, inserting, spinning me over, attacking the groin, and going directly for the neck bite. Okay, Jeff, come on in. And here's where we left off, and go. Boom, boom, boom. This is where I would spin, choke, pulls around, boom, boom, boom on the groin, and break. Good. Okay. So as you see, we're always keeping the action going. We're never giving the opponent a moment to breathe. If you keep the offense going, the best defense is a good offense. And the best way to apply consistent offense is biting, because there are more bites in a given moment of time than there are anything else. It might take 2 or 3 or 4 or 15 or 20 seconds for an arm lock or a leg lock or a choke. Bites happen every second. There are 140 bites on the body. So you can be perpetually attacking the opponent, keeping him off his game, getting him into the self-preservation mode. Okay, let's go with this one more time. We're going to go through it ultra slow, and then we're going to go normal speed. Okay? Jeff, ultra slow, and you watch Jeff attacking with the same hand. Boom, boom, boom. This is going to get me to spin. Inserting. He then oopas me. Notice the left hand, so I cannot counter. He is automatically attacking the groin. This hand will go down to protect the groin, and his biting the neck. Okay, break. One more time, Jeff. Normal speed, please. And go. Break. Good. Okay. Again, take it from the top. Work your way through. 3 moves at a time. Keep it nice and slow. Remember, energy drill. Now for our final segment, we're going to be defending against the choke. So we just had Jeff in. He pulled me over, put the hook in, pounded the groin, and went for the bite or the choke. Now we're going to have James come in, and I'm going to show you the defense against the choke. Okay, James, come on in. Now, first of all, when I am in this position, to get out of this, I need the arm to go down at about 7 o'clock. That breaks this. If I were to simply bite and open my mouth as big as I can, he would be pushing in on my mouth and I would be the person in pain. Once you get your mouth too large, you cannot apply any pressure. So what I need to do, let's go back to here please, is I first release this and I then pull to where I just have enough room here that I can bite. I turn on my incisor and I start to nibble and tear. Now when this happens, most of the time somebody's going to pull away and you will not have done enough damage. So as I start to nibble, go ahead, he's just going to pull away and re-choke me. So I need to address that problem. So we go back to here, I bring this around, I get to here to nibble, I bring this up. Now I'm holding on. As I'm nibbling as long as I can until I've done enough damage, and then I let go. I'm going to spin to this position. As I spin, I'm going to make a technical error, and this arm is going to be under, and I will end up in the triangle position. From the triangle position, immediately you get your base and your posture. I'm going to turn, bite the leg, come down, and now I'm right back to the starting point of our Sombrata pattern. Okay, let's walk through this again slowly. James has me here. I unhook, grab, bite, spin, get my arm trapped. Immediately come up, bite, that releases the hooks here, apply the pressure down, come back down, and begin my bite, and we're right back to the beginning. So what I'd like you to do is take this from the very top, go through each motion until you make a full circle and you wind up back cross-side. Now we're going to put it all together. We're going to go through the entire Sombrata flow pattern. Remember, this is Sombrata Kinamutai, meaning both sides are going to get to go. We're going to start with James on top, cross-side on me. And when we're done, I will end up cross-side on him, and we're going to have both sides go. Okay, James, come on in. First, I'll narrate it slowly, then we'll speed it up a little bit. Okay, first position, James is on top. I get my upa, come underneath, I bite the stomach. Create a little space, come around, guard the neck and bite. I'm biting here, James comes to his feet. I come to here, upa James around, and I continue the bite. I'm biting here, James upas me, and now James counter bites. Holding the bicep, boom, headbutts, comes up, boom, passes the guard, and he's punching. Now James comes down, he starts the bite. My one and only counter, pressing up, he counters that, I'm biting in, push down this way, get the going bite, I pike. James comes up, boom, 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 creates the spin. Starts to choke, he rolls me over. He starts to hit the going. I counter here, I go for the bite. Gives enough space to come around. I accidentally get stuck in the triangle. I come up with my posture, grab the leg, come around, and now we're right back where we started. Now James begins the bite. He does his upa. He creates space, and James is in the guard. From the guard, he's biting me. From this bite, I come up, and James upas me. Now he's on top. I'm coming around. I upa, counter up, boom, headbutt, bam. Come up to here, I pass the guard, I come to here, boom, I'm firing my shots. I come down, I start to bite. He pushes up, I come and bite. He pushes down, I go and bite. He pipes, come up to here, I'm hitting, come back around, go for the choke. James Upas, spins. Now I'm looking for the heel hook. He bites my arm, creates a spin, enables me to triangle him. He comes up, bites my leg, and we are right back where we started. This is a complete pattern. I'd like you to repeat that. Go through it slowly, gradually pick up your speed. Now I'd like to pause just for a moment and reiterate to you the difference between self-perfection and self-preservation. Self-perfection is a training drill. It would be hubad or sumbrata. It could be a jab drill. It could be doing the flow pattern on the ground that you just saw. This is a self-perfection drill. Self-preservation is what we actually do in the street fight. In order to know what it feels like to tear into flesh, we have to get out of the laboratory and into the street. You obviously don't want to go around biting people. So what we do is we practice with meat. We actually strap a piece of meat on somebody and learn the technique of tearing. Again, I have to reiterate to you, this is not something that you go around doing. We, in our art, practice knife fighting. We practice stick fighting. We practice biting, eye gouging. This is not a sport. This is only what you do to protect your family. When we're training jiu-jitsu, the last thing we do is think about biting, okay? But if you're out stuck in the back of some 7-Eleven at 2 in the morning, you have a 300-pound guy holding you down, and someone's grabbing your wife and kids, and the only way for you to get up is to bite, you're going to do whatever it takes. So that's what this is all about. This is about self-preservation. When you think about gouging somebody with your thumb in their eyeball, or stabbing somebody with a knife, or bludgeoning them with a stick, these are not pleasant things. But sometimes it's not a pleasant world out there, and we have to know how to defend ourselves. And if we're going to do it, we have to learn to do it all the way. So this is why Dan Inosanto has always explained to me, to break the art down into two phases. This particular phase is self-preservation. So this is how we train it, okay? We strap the meat on somebody, we tie it. You can pick any part of the body. In this particular case, we pick the lat. We've got the meat tied to the lat, okay? We'll throw a t-shirt on over the meat, because most of the time somebody will have a shirt on. You can also practice this directly on the meat without a shirt. Either way, okay? Now I'd like you just to take a look at what the bite will do so you have an idea. Okay, so let's assume one of the positions. Why don't you take the arm over, Robert? Okay, and get you up here. And go. Okay, good. Now, the damage, let's just take a look, okay, Robert? Let's just lift this up here. And, all right, this is somebody's side. This would be sufficient damage to create space for you to either escape or go back and engage the fight. If you choose to come to your feet and you're fighting a grappler and you choose to engage again, this person's going to think twice before they want to take you back down to the ground. So that's the whole idea of the Kinamotai. But remember, this is for self-preservation only. This is not what we do for training. This is just to save your family. And if you question whether or not you should do this in terms of ethics, is there anything that you wouldn't do to save your children? Now in this last take, we're going to show you how to take somebody to the ground. When you see the grappler trying to take the stand-up fighter to the ground, 90% of the time you see them going for a double leg takedown. They go for a single direct attack. They just come charging in and dive at the legs. And this is why they have difficulty. If the stand-up fighter knows he's going to do that, a lot of times they'll sprawl. Sometimes they're successful, sometimes they're not. Sometimes it takes a long time to get somebody to the ground. Conversely, if you attack the high line first, this is called a progressive indirect attack. So you get the opponent backing up with forward pressure by attacking the high line, and then you just shoot straight to the ground, and your takedown becomes exponentially easier. Now, I can't think of a reason why I would ever want to go from my feet to the ground in a street fight, but if I did, this is how I'd do it. James, come on in. Now, if you hit rewind, you'll see what I did. Basically, I was occupying the center line. I was coming in with a straight blast. It's called a progressive indirect attack. We're cheating, just like when we go into the ground. When you saw me on the ground and James had me in the guard, I bit him. As soon as he released, that gave me the opportunity for headbutt, pound the groin, and pass the guard. When I went in for my straight blast, that created forward pressure. James was going backwards. That enabled me to go for the double leg takedown. So if you look for ways to circumvent the art and cheat, you'll always have a better chance. Well, I hope you enjoyed Kinamotai. Now you're armed with one of the most powerful tools to level the playing field. This is truly the equalizer for ground fighting. So, good luck and God bless.